Welcome to Great Art. For the past few years, we've been filming in the biggest exhibitions, art galleries and museums in the world, exploring some of the greatest artists and art in history. Not only do we record landmark shows, but we also secure privileged access behind the scenes. We then use this as a springboard to take a broader look at these extraordinary artists. When we heard that three great galleries, the Musée d'Orsay in Paris, the National Portrait Gallery in London, and the National Gallery in Washington, D.C., were planning the first ever exhibition entirely focused on portraits by Cezanne, we thought this was an opportunity too good to miss. Cezanne, considered among the greatest of all artists, is best known for his landscapes and still lifes, but just as important to him were his many portraits and self-portraits. Through them, one has remarkable access both to his life story and the development of his art. Naturally, the show in all three locations was a smash hit, but if you missed it, you may never see its like again, except here, in this latest film from Great Art.
My age and my health will never allow me to realize the artistic dream I have pursued all my life. But I shall always be grateful to the audience of intelligent art lovers who have sensed what I was trying to do to renew my art, in spite of my halting attempts. In my opinion, one does not replace the past. One only adds a new link. With painter's temperament and an artistic ideal, that is to say, a conception of nature, there should be sufficient means of expression to be intelligible to the general public and to occupy a suitable rank in the history of art. Paul Cezanne.
An exhibition of this scale and ambition takes many years to put together. So this one goes back to 2009, when the conversations were first had about why had no one ever done an exhibition of Cezanne's portraits, which seems a remarkable fact, but is true. And of course, in this case, we're partnering with the Musée d'Orsay in Paris and the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C.
Dans la période en tout cas récente, moderne, c'est la première exposition effectivement dédiée complètement au portrait de Cézanne. Et c'est un peu comme si au fond c'était un peu un point aveugle, la question des portraits. Je pense que tout le monde a eu un tout petit peu peur du sujet, parce que précisément, au fond, Cézanne ne s'avouait pas portraitiste, ne se revendiquait pas portraitiste.
Cezanne is the great formalist master. I mean, he really sets up a kind of abstraction that you're going to see unfold in the 20th century. And he's best known as a still life and landscape painter, where you don't generally get issues of emotional and psychological expression or affect. So the drama of this show, I think, is what happens when you replace these inanimate objects with not only human beings, but people who he knew really well.
Les portraits, ils sont passionnants parce qu'on voit un petit peu une rétrospective Cézanne et on voit les différentes étapes de sa peinture, les différents centres d'intérêt. Donc c'est ça qui est merveilleux dans ce parcours de portrait, c'est que peut-être encore davantage que dans d'autres sujets, eh bien, la vie de Cézanne, ses doutes, le parcours artistique de l'homme apparaît.
Aix, 9th of April, 1858. Dear Emile, a poem. Farewell, my dear Emile. Know on the flowing stream I no longer slip as gaily as in times gone by, when with agile arms like reptiles we swam together across the calm waters. Farewell, fine days seasoned with wine, lucky fishing for prodigious fish, when in my catch in the cool river my surly line caught nothing dreadful. Do you remember the pine that stood on the bank of the Ark, lowering its leafy head over the chasm that opened at its feet? That pine that protected our bodies with its foliage from the heat of the sun. Ah, may the gods preserve it from the fatal blow of the woodcutter's axe. Aix, 7th of December, 1858. Dear Emile, alas, I took the tortuous path of law. I took is not the word. I was forced to take law, horrible law, with all equivocations. It will make my life a misery for 3 years. Have pity on me, an unhappy mortal.
Aix est une toute petite ville. C'est une ville qui a environ 20-25 000 habitants. C'est une petite ville qui a encore ses remparts. C'est une ville qui est encore ceinturée de murs qui datent de l'époque du Moyen-Âge, avec des portes que l'on ferme encore le soir à partir d'une certaine heure. Cézanne et Zola vont se rencontrer au Collège Bourbon, qui est le seul collège de l'époque. Ils vont se lier d'une profonde, très grande amitié. Et cette amitié va déboucher assez vite sur le désir de devenir artiste, créateur. Ils vont beaucoup parler de poésie, beaucoup parler de littérature. À mon avis, est très importante à percevoir, c'est que Cézanne et Zola ont eu finalement une belle jeunesse, et une jeunesse qui les a marqués pour toute leur vie.
Paris, 3rd of March, 1861. You pose an odd question. Of course, one can work here, as anywhere, given the willpower. Moreover, Paris has something you can't find anywhere else. Museums in which you can study from the masters from 11 till 4. here is how you could organize your time. From 6 to 11, you'll go to the studio and paint from the live model. You'll have lunch, then from midday till 4, you'll copy the masterpiece of your choice, either in the Louvre or in the Luxembourg. That will make 9 hours of work. I think that's enough, and with such a regime, it won't be long before you do something good. You see, that leaves us all evening free, and we can do whatever we like without impinging at all on our studies. Then on Sundays, we'll take off and go to some places around Paris. There are some charming spots, and if so moved, you can knock off a little canvas of the trees under which we'll have lunched. As for the question of money, it's true that your allowance of 125 francs a month won't allow you any great luxury, but you'll have enough to get by. Paris, August 1861. We've been together 6 hours today. Our meeting place is Paul's little room. There he's doing my portrait, during which time I read or we chat together. Paul paints on relentlessly. The slightest obstacle sends him into despair.
Cézanne est revenu très souvent en Provence. Il faut dire que l'image de la Provence à Paris à l'époque était celle d'une terre lointaine où c'était un monde paysan qui n'était pas encore socialisé, loin des mondanités parisiennes, loin de l'intelligentsia, alors qu'il était le plus intelligent, le plus littéraire, le plus cultivé de son temps. Il savait écrire des vers en latin, il connaissait Sénèque, il connaissait Virgile, il connaissait la poésie latine, il connaissait Tacite, etc.
Très souvent, quand vous lisez les ouvrages des historiens d'art, je trouve qu'ils sont assez réducteurs par rapport à Cézanne. On en fait un homme plutôt agressif, coléreux, solitaire, etc. Mais c'est pas tout à fait vrai, parce qu'il y avait l'autre facette de Cézanne, qui était l'homme joyeux, qui aimait la musique, qui aimait chanter, qui aimait même écrire des poèmes ou déclamer des poèmes avec des amis. Par contre, quand il travaillait, c'était un peu monastique. Il fallait qu'il soit seul, il avait besoin de réflexion, il travaillait lentement. Pour lui, d'ailleurs, il l'a dit, raconté par Vollard ou par d'autres, qu'effectivement, avant de poser une touche, il était très anxieux parce qu'une touche pouvait complètement transformer son tableau.
Le Jas de Bouffant a été une demeure du XVIIIe qui a été construite pour le gouverneur militaire de la place d'Aix. Le père Cézanne achète ceci à la famille, aux héritiers de gouverneurs de militaires. Ils sont dans la dette et le père Cézanne achète ça en 1859. Ça va devenir essentiellement une résidence d'été dans un premier temps. Pour Cézanne, c'est un espace de peinture, mais il est souvent à Paris. Quand il vient ici, j'imagine qu'il est relativement tranquille, il est à part, on lui laisse le grand salon. Son père n'est pas là très souvent. Il ne commencera à y habiter qu'à partir de 1870. Donc ça devient une demeure pour la famille Cézanne de 1870 à la mort du père de Cézanne, 1886. Cézanne ensuite aura la certitude d'avoir un atelier. C'est son lieu en Provence ici, jusqu'en 1898. Sa mère meurt en 1897. Il faut vendre la propriété. Mais je crois que pour Paul Cézanne, c'est un crève-cœur.
Aix, 23rd of October, 1866. Dear Camille, I'm here in the bosom of my family with the foulest people on earth. Those who make up my family who can be excruciatingly annoying.
Aix, 2nd of November, 1866. I have been here in Aix, this Athens of the North, with Paul Cezanne. A portrait of his father in a big armchair comes over really well. The painting is light in tone. The look is very fine. The father has the air of a pope on his throne, if it weren't for the newspaper that he's reading. The people of Aix still get on his nerves. They ask to come and see his painting so that they can rubbish it. And he has a good way of dealing with them. Bugger off, he says.
It's a very early portrait for Cezanne, and it's done in his style known as the manière couillard, which is roughly translated as the ballsy manner. Cezanne is using a palette knife for much of the composition, but also wide brushes and really slathering on the paint in a very kind of physical, gestural way. And I think he's after an image that is quite powerful. He wanted to make a statement, certainly. He's young, he's new to the Parisian art scene, and he's very ambitious. The sitter is, of course, his father, Louis-Auguste Cezanne. He had started his business in hat making in Aix and made quite a bit of money and then became a banker and was one of the richest men in town. You see him there sitting in his armchair, reading his newspaper, very much an image of what a businessman of the day would be doing. He's keeping up with the times. The paper that he regularly read was one of wide circulation, particularly in the south of France. It was called Le Siècle. So it's interesting that he's not reading the paper that he normally would have read. And there is this document, a letter from one of Cezanne's friends reporting that Cezanne changed late in the composition, the masthead on this paper, to L'Événement, which was a Parisian paper that Émile Zola had recently published a defense of the avant-garde. And I think that in a way, Cezanne is conflating the support of his friend Zola, who had defended him in this newspaper, with the support of his father. So it's really kind of an homage to this moment in his career, and it is an homage to his father. I think it's quite respectful. He has a forceful presence in the picture frame, and he's brought up right against the picture plane, so he's really almost out in your space. He's quite an imposing figure. There's no doubt that at the inception of a picture like this, he intended it for the salon. And the same year that he paints this painting, he does one of his very good friend, Achille Empereur, which he actually submits to the salon, and it is rejected. So this painting doesn't make it into the salon until 1882, and it is in fact the first painting by Cezanne accepted at a salon.
Carte d'Or presents delicious brownie pieces, hazelnut cocoa sauce, and vanilla ice cream. Layered like you have never seen before. New from Carte d'Or. Et voilà!
Mary Ann Sainsbury and her husband John James set up their shop with neighbourly aims. They made butter affordable, made it more fair, then filled their small shop with people who cared. And throughout the years, we tried to do good, just doing our bit, like the Sainsburys would. Along with the shop, the idea grew and grew, thanks to the folk who believed in it too. We kept jobs for our boys returning from war. We gave kids Christmas like never before. We put on red noses, bathed in baked beans. We painted and planted, did fun runs in teams. 150 years on, and we've still more to do. But we'd never have made it this far without you.
Mom, Dad, you are awesome. When there's something wrong, you always seem to know how to tackle it.
Treat verrucas and warts easily yourself with visible results in 1 week. Scholl's Complete Verruca and Wart Treatment Pen. Also from Scholl, the Scholl Fungal Nail Treatment. Without treatment, fungal infections can spread. First, roughen the nail, then apply the lacquer. It penetrates the nail and helps prevent the growth and spread of the infection with visible results from 2 weeks. Scholl Fungal Nail Complete Treatment Kit.
Hello, Otto Sergey.
Hello, Mr. Alexander. Shall I reopen your last web page?
No, thank you. Otto Sergey now comes with credit card feature. He check your eligibility before you apply, without affect your credit score, taking the guesswork out of finding a credit card.
Simples.
Hey, that's my line.
Reunite with thousands of free kids places when you book a TUI holiday now. Book online or visit your local TUI store. We cross the T's, dot the I's, and put you in the middle. TUI. Discover your smile. Atoll protected.
Oh, they've got the new Hive security camera.
Yeah, the engineer installed it in a jiffy.
Introducing the Hive View outdoor security camera with professional installation. Search Hive.
Guys, I love that it smells fresh like the beach.
So fresh.
But I'm trying to read.
Airwick, new pure beach escapes.
Enjoy hundreds of slot games at 32red.com, including favourites like Immortal Romance and Thunderstruck 2. And big-name games like Highlander, with a jackpot of over £500,000. Play online, on mobile and on tablet. Get £10 free when you join 32red.com, where you're the big deal.
We must forget the past.
My last home was full of secrets. I will not tolerate the same here.
If anybody sees you, it could ruin everything.
Lieutenant Beecham is a traitor!
New drama, Beecham House, this June on ITV.
Paris, 26th of November, 1874. My dear mother, Pissarro has not been in Paris for about a month and a half. He is in Brittany. But I know he has a good opinion of me, and I have a good opinion of myself. I am beginning to consider myself stronger than all those around me. I have to work all the time, but not to achieve the finish that earns the admiration of imbeciles. I must strive for completion purely for the satisfaction of becoming truer and wiser. It is a very bad moment for sales. All the bourgeois balk at parting with their cash, but that will end. Aix, April 1876. My dear Pissarro, 2 days ago, I received a large number of catalogues and newspapers about your exhibition at Dealer Durand-Ruel's. I also learned that Monet's La Japonaise had been sold for 2,000 francs. According to the papers, it seemed that Manet's rejection by the Salon has caused quite a stir, and that he's doing his own exhibition at home. Here, the frost was so severe that the fruit and vine harvests were ruined. But that's the advantage of art. Painting endures. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you that I was sent another rejection letter. It's neither new nor surprising. Aix, April 1876. My dear Pissarro, if having the Impressionists as background can help me, I'll show the best I have with them, and something neutral with the others.
The palette is lightening after 1870, and what gradually emerges by the end of the 70s in terms of the application is this so-called constructive brushstroke, where he started to lay everything out with smallish individual brushstrokes running diagonally usually across figure and ground, so that one recognizes again the materiality of the marking as well as the subject.
Nous avons sur les 6 messes du musée Granet un paysage qui représente le jas de Bouffant. Et dans ce paysage du jas de Bouffant, il y a une période de transition. Nous sommes dans les années 1870, 76, peut-être 77. Eh bien, nous avons un tableau qui montre dans une partie à droite des dimensions qui sont encore impressionnistes, mais à la manière de Cézanne, c'est-à-dire que sa touche devient constructive et structurante, c'est-à-dire qu'elle a un sens, une orientation, une inclinaison, une cohérence qui donne une architecture interne au tableau. Et à côté, dans la partie plus à gauche du tableau, on a l'avenir de Cézanne, c'est-à-dire ce qui va faire la grande originalité de Cézanne, l'invention du plan coloré. Le plan coloré, c'est une manière pour Cézanne de creuser l'espace, de modeler le volume, sans avoir vraiment besoin ni de la perspective atmosphérique, ni de la perspective euclidienne, celle qu'on utilise depuis la Renaissance, mais d'inventer une manière nouvelle de modeler et de creuser l'espace par le plan coloré. Par cette succession de plans, cette superposition de plans aussi, et ce tableau de vue du jas de Bouffant montre bien comment justement, dans cette période de transition, entre les années 1870 et 1880, Cézanne justement va prendre un parti et puis un autre dans la même toile. Et on mesure totalement cette évolution et ce tableau est passionnant pour cela.
Paris, 24th of August, 1877. Dear Emile, it seems that a deep depression reigns in the Impressionist camp. They are not exactly making their fortune. We are living in very troubled times.
Hortense Fiquet, qui est sa compagne, elle lui donne un fils en 1872, en janvier 1872. Cézanne ne dit rien à son père, jusqu'au jour où son père, qui reçoit le courrier ici, une lettre adressée à son fils Paul, il ouvre le courrier. C'est un père de famille qui ouvre tous les courriers. Et il s'aperçoit qu'il est grand-père. Il ne dit rien à Paul Cézanne, ce fils. Il lui dit, écoute mon fils, quand on est sans enfant et sans charge de famille, on n'a pas besoin de tout l'argent que je t'envoie. Et il lui coupe en partie ses vivres. Et là, Zola va jouer un rôle majeur. Pendant 10 ans, pratiquement de 1876 à 1886, il va alimenter Cézanne avec de l'argent régulièrement.
23rd of March, 1878. Dear Emile, I seem to be on the verge of having to fend for myself, if indeed I'm up to it. Relations between my father and myself are becoming very tense, and I risk losing my entire allowance. A letter from Monsieur Choquet, in which he mentioned Madame Cezanne and little Paul, provided conclusive proof of my situation to my father, who, by the way, was already alert, full of suspicions, and who had nothing better to do than to unseal and be the first to read the letter that was sent to me, even though it was addressed to Monsieur Paul Cezanne, painter. Aix, 4th of April, 1878. My dear Emile, please send 60 francs to Hortense in Marseille. I've only been able to secure 100 francs from my father, and I was even afraid that he might not give me anything at all. He's heard from various people that I have a child, and he's trying by every means possible to catch me out. He wants to rid me of it. It would take too long to explain the good man to you, but appearances are deceptive, believe you me. I slipped off last week to see the little one in Marseille, but missed the train back and had to walk the 30 kilometers. I was an hour late for dinner.
Hortense, en fait, a servi. D'abord, elle s'est occupée de son mari toute sa vie. Et contrairement à ce que l'on a dit, ils ont vécu beaucoup ensemble. Parce qu'il ne faut pas oublier que 50% de la vie de Cezanne était dans la région parisienne. Et les 50 autres, ici, à Aix-en-Provence ou autour. Donc déjà, les 50% où il était à Paris, ils étaient ensemble. Hortense a eu, je trouve, une attitude de femme d'artiste, en lui laissant une liberté dont il avait besoin, et elle aussi. Bon, de temps en temps, il y a eu des moments un peu chauds, comme dans tous les couples, mais elle s'occupait du quotidien, rien n'était simple pour elle. Si vous imaginez que pendant toute sa vie, elle a déménagé 22 fois à Paris. Donc en fait, elle n'a jamais eu de lieu stable, et elle a toujours accepté.
Lorsqu'on prend en considération le travail de Cezanne, effectivement, on se demande comment il a pu vivre en vendant si peu de tableaux et en se permettant, notamment pour les portraits, de faire des œuvres qu'il avait encore moins de chances de vendre. Son père a donné une maigre pension qu'il aurait pu faire beaucoup plus grande, mais quand même qui lui a permis de vivre à ses débuts. Et puis, Cezanne, à la fin des années 1880, va hériter de ce père, de ses propriétés, qui vont le mettre à l'abri et finalement qui vont lui offrir ce luxe de pouvoir travailler indépendamment de la vente de ses œuvres. Et cette sécurité matérielle implique un rapport au portrait très différent, par exemple de celui d'un Renoir, qui lui était vraiment très modeste et n'avait pas de soutien familiaux, et donc qui lui a travaillé tout au long de sa vie, notamment au début, le portrait pour vivre, et qui donc a une approche du portrait très différente. Ici, à Paris, le regroupement le plus sensationnel repose sans doute sur les versions de Madame Cezanne en fauteuil jaune, dans cette robe rouge. On voit à la fois Cezanne traiter son épouse de manière géométrique, et donc en cela la réduire quasiment à une nature morte, la faire évoluer dans son positionnement, dans son inscription dans l'espace, dans le contexte, à la même manière dont on imagine qu'il pourrait déplacer les éléments d'une même nature morte, un compotier, une pomme, un pichet, on touche là bien à une des contributions majeures de Cezanne à l'art du XXe siècle.
On voit le même modèle, pris à quelques jours de distance, quelques heures, qui n'a pas le même visage, qui n'a pas la même attitude, qui suggère un état psychologique différent, mais qui ne vous donne pas beaucoup de clés pour le comprendre et pour le décrypter. Vous avez un effet sériel qui est très intéressant d'ailleurs, qu'il est intéressant de mettre en parallèle avec l'effet sériel chez Monet à la même période, qui est aussi un autre dépassement de l'impressionnisme. Chez Monet, c'est une course à la lumière, au temps. Le motif des cathédrales, des meules, enfin on connaît tout ce magnifique travail sériel qu'il invente. Chez Cezanne, c'est une course à l'essence du modèle de la personnalité.
With Sky TV, you can get something for everyone for just £22 a month. Believe me. Keep the whole home happy with spellbinding drama, thrilling reality, and laugh-out-loud comedy. Missed a show? No problem. You get loads of catch-up TV all in one place. And this is not some limited offer. It's just a great price. Believe in something for everyone, every day of the month for just £22. Search Sky TV.
I want to live in a world where we still have polar bears. I want to live in a world where we can breathe cleaner air. Where we use more sustainable energy. Where we're doing everything we can to save what we have.
We all want to make big changes to help our planet, but sometimes to make big changes, we have to start small. Smart meters can't solve climate change on their own, but with the smarter, more energy-efficient grid they help to create, they're a start.
I want to live in a beautiful world.
Search I Want a Smart Meter or call 0300 131 8000 today.
Ellie Taylor and local adventurer Alistair Humphreys are exploring the 50 miles surrounding Stowford Press's cider mill,
Cider? Oh, all right, thanks.
where all our apples come from.
Ellie, look!
Probably found a tree root he's going to whittle into a gazebo.
It's a pub!
Still within the 50 miles. Let's explore.
Only made with local apples. Stowford Press cider. The wonderfulness of local.
So much confusion. There's so much to buy and so much to try. Or does loyalty pay? Do you go or stay? It's not hard to see why so many don't try. To beat your renewal quote guarantee. Don't be confused. BeConfused.com.
Many people with sensitivity have a gum problem they're not aware of, and that concerns me. I oftentimes see both problems going hand in hand. Sensitivity, if left alone, can get worse with time, and gum problems definitely don't solve themselves, so we really want to address them both at the same time. I would definitely be recommending the new Sensodyne Sensitivity and Gum. It helps reduce sensitivity and it will improve their gum health. It's great to have a dual action toothpaste like this because it's addressing two things that come into my surgery every day in one product.
Meet Team GB's Alistair and Johnny Brownlee, who are helping kids keep fit and healthy. With Aldi Super 6, you can eat fresh fruit and veg every week for less. This week's freshest offers start at just 55p each. No wonder we're Fresh Produce Supermarket of the Year for the 4th year running. Aldi, every day amazing.
Download the Tombola Arcade app from the Play Store and enjoy unique games like Spin and Go. Download the Tombola Arcade app today.
I am a cheeky chappy, and I'll accept that.
Hard to control when it begins. When I grow up, I want to be an astronaut.
The groundbreaking series returns. 63 Up starts Tuesday at 9 on ITV.
I think seeing Cezanne's portraits in the context of a portrait gallery is especially interesting, and obviously the context here in London is quite different from the context in either Paris or in Washington. What's unique about the exhibition here is that we're focusing on portraiture first and foremost, so portraiture as a medium. And of course, the National Portrait Gallery was the first portrait gallery in the world when it was founded in 1856. And I think the origins are quite interesting. It was essentially founded to collect portraits of eminent British men and women that had made British history, and to reflect upon the idea of, achievement, nationhood, biography, and character. So although we live now in an era saturated by portraits or self-portraits, whether it's selfies or Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat, perhaps we're more resonant now than ever before, because people have this great interest in identity, self-portraiture, and representation.
Lined because there's you see, so there's liner's paper there, and this is the original edge. Yeah, you see there, it's the same thing, but you can see clearly that that's just the edge of the painting.
Yeah. I think there's many factors that make an exhibition successful, and I wouldn't say that's just to do with attendance, i.e. the idea that an exhibition is a blockbuster and successful if lots of people come and see it. The issues around a great exhibition, as a former curator myself, is the integrity with which it's realized. And that really begins with someone's vision of what the exhibition should do and say and achieve. And then the question is how you execute that and explain and convey that to an audience.
Top, bottom and left edge. Maybe they've just got their left and right models. But it's definitely visible at the top. Maybe. I think that's the abrasion there. That abrasion has always been there, so it's not like it's gone up.
Which height are we going to do? Because this is hung higher. It can't be centered on that. No. It's going to be too big. Yeah, let's just look at it again with that one.
Yeah.
It's good. You can look right into his blood.
Yeah, I think it's so.
November 1894. Paul is so peculiar, so fearful of seeing new faces, that I'm afraid he may let us down and not come to dinner, despite his wish to meet you. What a pity that this man has not had more support in his life. He is a true artist who suffers too much self-doubt. He needs to be cheered up.
This is one of his beautiful works, even though it is unfinished. The library, the papers on the table, the little Rodin plaster sculpture, the artificial rose that he brought at the start of the sessions. Everything is of the first rank. And of course, there is also a character in this scene, which is painted with meticulous care, with a richness and an incomparable harmony of tones. He only sketched in the face, however, always saying, perhaps I'll leave that to the end. Alas, the end never came. One fine day, Cezanne sent for his easel, brushes, and paints, writing to me that the project was clearly beyond him. He had been wrong to undertake it, and apologizing for abandoning it. I insisted that he come back, telling him what I thought, that he had started a very fine work, and that he should finish it. He came back, and for a week he seemed to work, adding fine films of color as only he knew how, always retaining the freshness and sparkle of the painting. But his heart was no longer in it. He left for Aix, leaving behind the portrait as he had left so many other paintings. Things of wonderful vision and realization.
Aix, 8th of July, 1902. Dear Gasquet, I am pursuing success through work. I despise all living painters, except Monet and Renoir, and I want to succeed through work. Aix, 9th of January, 1903. Dear Monsieur Vollard, I work tenaciously. I glimpse the promised land. Will I be like the great leader of the Hebrews? Will I be able to enter? I've made some progress. Why so late and laboriously? Is art really a priesthood that requires the pure in heart who completely surrender themselves to it?
Cézanne, lorsque on regarde sa correspondance, est toujours très bienveillant par rapport à Vollard. Il considère que Vollard l'a aidé, et c'est vrai qu'en 1895, Cézanne va presque avoir 60 ans. Il n'a pas encore eu une exposition personnelle à Paris. Et le premier, celui qui va faire cette exposition, c'est un jeune galeriste nouvellement installé, ou en tout cas, pas très longtemps qu'il est à Paris, et qui va donc s'intéresser à son travail et faire une exposition en 1895 de sa peinture. Et on a cette anecdote magnifique à propos du portrait de Vollard. Vollard la raconte et il dit, après 115 séances de pose, c'est horriblement long, 115 séances de pose, il lui demande s'il est content de son tableau. Cézanne lui dit, oui, je ne suis pas trop mécontent du plastron, c'est-à-dire du devant de la chemise. Et quand Vollard lui demande pourquoi il n'a pas peint 2 petits millimètres carrés sur sa main, Cézanne lui dit « Je ne veux pas me tromper. J'irai au Louvre cet après-midi et si je trouve les bonnes valeurs, je pourrai terminer ces 2 petites zones très minuscules, mais qui existent encore sur le tableau aujourd'hui. » Et il explique à Vollard en lui disant « Et si jamais je me trompe sur ces 2 petits millimètres carrés, je serai obligé de refaire tout le tableau. »
Alors ici, nous sommes dans un seul atelier. Vous avez une grande baie vitrée avec la lumière du nord, parce que c'est une lumière constante. Après la mort de sa mère, le Josse de Buffon était en indivision avec ses 2 sœurs. Et son beau-frère a demandé l'indivision, donc il fallait vendre le domaine. Et avec l'argent, Cézanne avait 2 solutions, soit racheter les parts de ses sœurs, mais il n'avait plus d'argent pour vivre, soit laisser vendre, et à ce moment-là, il fallait partir ailleurs. Il a choisi la 2e solution, et il a très vite acheté ce terrain qui lui convenait parce qu'il était loin du centre de la ville. Et sur ses plans, il a construit l'atelier qu'il avait toujours eu envie d'avoir. Mon grand-père, donc le fils, Paul Cézanne fils, a été d'abord, avec sa naissance, et ce petit garçon a finalement été un lien avec la vie, était très important comme point d'ancrage pour le peintre dans sa vie journalière. Et puis, en grandissant, il y a eu ce respect mutuel qui s'est mis en place. Et très vite, jeune homme, mon grand-père s'est retrouvé en charge de tous les problèmes du quotidien que le peintre n'aimait pas. C'est lui qui a pris le relais et qui était en charge du quotidien, si je puis dire. Parce qu'en fait, hormis sa peinture, Cézanne était un peu perdu.
Aix, 12th of May, 1904. Dear Bernard, nature appears to me very complex, and the improvements to be made are never-ending. One must see one's model clearly and feel it exactly right, and then express oneself with distinction and force. Taste is the best judge. It is rare. Art speaks only to an excessively small group of people. The artist should scorn all opinion not based on the intelligent observation of character.
he was an extraordinary portrait painter and probably the most important since Rembrandt, in that he is really painting humanity. They are, some of them, difficult paintings if one is thinking about portraits as images of faces. But the expression is in the whole canvas. You know, as Matisse said, expression for me isn't in gesture or in face, but in the whole composition. And this is a major gift that Cezanne gave to modern painting.
La note de Cézanne est totalement singulière. C'est comme si elle s'échappait presque de son époque, et comme si elle allait très avant déjà, comme si elle allait dans son audace d'abstraction. Et c'est bien pour ça, je pense, que des artistes comme Picasso, Braque et d'autres ont tellement vu en Cézanne une figure de père, une figure tutélaire, c'est qu'il ouvrait la voie à cette possibilité. Cézanne est un peintre de peintres avant tout. C'est un peintre difficile, c'est une peinture difficile, exigeante, dans laquelle il faut rentrer. Mais tous les grands artistes de sa génération et de ceux qui sont un peu plus jeunes après lui ont bien senti combien il y avait là un absolu, dans la vision aussi de la mission de ce qu'était un artiste moderne, au fond.
Aix, 3rd of August, 1906. My dear Paul, I get up early, and it's only really between 5 and 8 that I can lead my own life. By the time the heat becomes stupefying and saps the brain so much, I can't even think of painting. I caught bronchitis. I've abandoned homeopathy for old-fashioned mixed syrups. It's a shame that I can't give many demonstrations of my ideas and sensations. Long live the Goncourt, Pissarro, and all those who have a propensity for color, which represents light and air. I know that with the terrible heat, you and Maman will be tired. So it's a good thing that you are both able to get back to Paris in time to find yourselves in a less burning atmosphere. I must remind you not to forget the slippers. The ones I have are just about giving up on me. Aix, 26th of August, 1906. My dear Paul, when I forget to write to you, it's because I lose track of time a little. It's been terribly hot, and in addition, my nervous system must be much weakened. Painting is the best thing for me. I go to the river by carriage every day. It's nice enough there, but my weakness is getting me down. I'm going to go up to the studio. I got up late, after 5. I'm still working happily, and yet sometimes the light is so bad that nature seems ugly to me. So one has to choose. My pen is hardly moving. I embrace you both with all my heart, and remember me to all the friends who still think of me across time and space. A big hug for you and Maman. Aix, 15th of October, 1906. My dear Paul, everything goes by with frightening speed. I'm not doing too badly. I look after myself. I eat well. My dear Paul, to give you the satisfactory news you want, I would have to be 20 years younger. I repeat, I eat well, and a little boost to morale would do me a power of good. But only work can give me that. All my compatriots are idiots beside me. I embrace you and Maman, your father, Paul Cezanne.
And a longer version of this great art film is available on DVD and to download from all good retailers. Stay there for Tenable, on the way next.